Have you ever looked at a frozen food package and thought, well, at least it's convenient? Maybe even assumed it's healthy because it's not fast food? You're not alone. Frozen foods are marketed as safe, nutritious, and time-saving, but here's the uncomfortable truth. Some of them could quietly be damaging your heart. Especially if you're over 60, that's right. Millions of seniors are eating frozen meals every week, completely unaware that they could be raising their risk of heart problems like high blood pressure, hardening arteries, and even strokes. And it's not coming from takeout or greasy. Fast food, the danger? It's sitting right there in your freezer. In this video, we'll break down the 4 worst frozen foods seniors should avoid, and the 4 best frozen foods you should be eating every day to protect your heart, boost your circulation, and age with strength and vitality. And trust me, number 1 on the worst list is something that raises the risk of stroke by up to 78%. But hardly anyone is talking about it. We've organized the list from least to most harmful, and from least to most healing. Everything we share is backed by peer-reviewed research, human studies, and clinical data. If you want to check the science for yourself, the sources are all linked in the description below. And before we dive in, tell us in the comments, how old are you and when's your next birthday? We read every comment and your story matters. Let's jump in with the number 4 worst frozen food for seniors, and what your heart is quietly begging you to stop eating. 4. Breaded frozen fish fillets. At first glance, fish seems like a healthy choice. It's high in protein, omega-3 south, and usually recommended for heart health. But the minute it's breaded, deep-fried, and frozen, everything changes. That once heart-healthy meal turns into a ticking time bomb for your cardiovascular system. Here's why. Most breaded frozen fish products, whether it's patties, fillets, or sticks, are packed with harmful ingredients. We're talking about hydrogenated oils, excessive sodium, and refined white flour in the breading. Even small amounts of these ingredients have been linked to a 23% increase in heart disease risk. And the sodium? It's out of control. 1 serving can contain 500 milligrams or more, which is nearly a third of your daily limit gone in just a few bites. Over time, this kind of sodium overload can cause water retention, high blood pressure, and stiffened blood vessels. Seniors are especially at risk because kidney function naturally declines with age, making it harder for your body to flush out excess salt. But it gets worse. These breaded fish products also contain something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These are harmful compounds that form during high-temperature cooking like frying and freezing, and they accelerate vascular aging, disrupt insulin function, and damage cells. In fact, one study in Circulation Research found that people with higher levels of AGEs were twice as likely to develop atrial fibrillation, a heart rhythm disorder that affects 1 in 3 adults over 65. Still with me? Because we haven't even gotten to the fish itself. Most frozen breaded fish products use low-quality, cheap fish like basa or pollock. These are often soaked in phosphate additives to help them maintain their texture. For seniors with heart or kidney issues, this is especially dangerous. Phosphates can increase strain on the kidneys, interfere with calcium balance, and contribute to arterial hardening and stroke risk. If your ankles swell up the morning after you've had breaded frozen fish, or if you feel lightheaded or off balance, it's not your imagination. Your body is sounding the alarm. So what's the solution? Skip the breaded fish. Instead, opt for wild-caught, unbreaded frozen fish like salmon or cod. Bake it or steam it with olive oil, garlic, and lemon. Not only does that combo taste delicious, but it also supports your endothelial function and reduces inflammation, both key for heart health after 60. Number A. Frozen pizza. Let's be real, frozen pizza's cheap, easy, and pretty satisfying. That's why it's become a go-to for millions of seniors. But here's what most people don't realize. Frozen pizza is one of the worst things you can eat for your heart. Let's break it down. First off, the sodium. A single frozen personal pizza can have over 1,200 milligrams of sodium. That's more than half the recommended daily intake for seniors. When you eat that much salt in one sitting, it doesn't just raise your blood pressure. It triggers inflammation, hardens your arteries, and can lead to heart failure over time. And here's the kicker: 90% of seniors who regularly eat frozen pizza don't even realize the damage it's causing. If you've ever felt bloated, fatigued, foggy-headed, or noticed swollen legs or a racing heartbeat after a frozen meal, your heart may be trying to tell you something. Let's talk about the crust. Most frozen pizzas use bleached, refined flour completely stripped of fiber and nutrients. This kind of fast-burning carbohydrate causes blood sugar spikes and insulin surges that can quietly damage blood vessels and increase the risk of silent heart attacks and strokes, especially in people over 60. Then there's the imitation cheese. We're not talking about real, fresh mozzarella here. The processed cheese on frozen pizza is full of emulsifiers, vegetable oils, and sodium phosphate. Phosphate is especially dangerous for seniors because it throws off your calcium balance, pulling calcium out of your bones and pushing it into your arteries where it doesn't belong. According to Kidney International, seniors with excess phosphate had a 38% higher risk of heart-related death. Still not convinced? Most frozen pizzas, especially the meat-loaded ones, contain nitrates, preservatives, and hydrogenated fats. These substances stress both your heart and brain, increasing your risk for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and cognitive decline. If frozen pizza is a regular item in your freezer, it might be time for a change. Try making your own mini pizza using a whole grain pita, fresh tomato paste, real mozzarella, and heart-healthy toppings like spinach, olives, and grilled veggies. It takes just a few extra minutes, but the benefits? 10 times safer for your heart and just as tasty. #2. Frozen smoothie packs. Now, this one might surprise you. Frozen fruit smoothie packs are often marketed as immune-boosting, antioxidant-rich, or a great way to start your morning. But for seniors, especially those over 60, they can actually do more harm than good. The issue lies in what's inside these packs. Most of them contain high glycemic fruits, things like pineapple, bananas, and mangoes. Sounds healthy, right? But these fruits spike your blood sugar fast. When they're concentrated into smoothie packs, you're getting a large dose of natural sugar all at once, which your body may struggle to handle, especially if you're insulin resistant or pre-diabetic. Even if the label says no added sugar, don't be fooled. The natural sugar load in these smoothie packs can still be excessive, and that creates a dangerous roller coaster effect in your blood sugar, especially in seniors, whose glucose metabolism tends to slow down with age. According to a 2020 study published in Diabetes and Vascular Disease Research, even non-diabetic seniors who had elevated post-meal blood sugar spikes had a 48% higher risk of cardiovascular events. That includes heart attacks, strokes, and arterial damage. But that's not the only problem. The antioxidant benefits these smoothie packs promise, they might not be delivering. Many of these fruits are flash frozen and then stored for months, sometimes longer. Over time, their vitamin C and polyphenol content can degrade significantly. That means you're getting all the sugar, but very few of the protective nutrients that help neutralize its effects. Worse still, many people blend these frozen packs with sweetened almond milk, fruit juice, or yogurt with added sugar, which only increases the glycemic load. So what seemed like a healthy breakfast becomes a blood sugar bomb that can lead to energy crashes, poor circulation, and even mental fog. If you've ever felt great for the first 20 minutes after your smoothie, then suddenly tired, foggy, or even irritable, this could be why. Your heart, your brain, and your arteries are all paying the price. So what's a better choice? Make your own smoothie using low glycemic fruits like frozen blueberries, blackberries, or raspberries. These are rich in fiber and antioxidants without spiking your blood sugar. Add in a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, a handful of spinach, and a scoop of unsweetened protein powder for a heart-smart, blood sugar-friendly breakfast. It takes just a minute longer, but it'll leave you energized, clear-headed, and genuinely nourished. 1. Frozen breakfast sandwiches microwavable. And now, the worst of the worst, the number one frozen food that seniors over 60 should avoid at all costs. Microwavable frozen breakfast sandwiches. They seem innocent, handy, even filling. But they're one of the most harmful things you can put into your body first thing in the morning, especially if you care about your heart, your circulation, and your brain health. Let's start with sodium. One breakfast sandwich can contain anywhere from 800 to 1,300 milligrams of sodium. And remember, that's before 9 a.m. For older adults, that kind of sodium load is a serious problem. Aging kidneys don't filter out salt as efficiently, so more of it stays in your bloodstream, leading to increased volume, pressure, and strain on your heart. In fact, a 2022 meta-analysis published in the Journal of Hypertension found that older adults consuming more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day had a 71% increased risk of left-sided heart failure. That's a staggering number for something that looks so harmless on your plate. But we're not done yet. These sandwiches are typically loaded with processed meats like bacon or sausage foods that are rich in nitrates and nitrites. Your body converts these into nitrosamines, dangerous compounds that damage your blood vessels, reduce nitric oxide production, which your arteries need to stay flexible, and promote arterial stiffness. When your arteries lose their elasticity, your heart has to work harder with every beat. That raises your blood pressure and your risk for stroke and heart failure. And then there's the egg. Or should we say? Now let's talk about the good stuff, the best frozen foods for seniors over 60, all right. We've covered the danger zone. We've exposed the frozen foods that can raise your risk of heart disease, strokes, and high blood pressure. But let's not leave your freezer half empty, because there are some frozen foods that deserve a permanent spot on your grocery list. These aren't just okay to eat. They're incredibly beneficial, especially if you're over 60 and want to stay active, strong, and sharp. Let's count down the 4 best frozen foods for heart health, circulation, and healthy aging, starting with number 4. Number 4. Frozen spinach. It's not the flashiest veggie in the freezer, but frozen spinach might just be one of the most powerful heart protective foods available. Why? Because it's absolutely packed with natural nitrates compounds that your body uses to create nitric oxide. That's the substance that relaxes blood vessels, improves circulation, and lowers blood pressure. And get this, a clinical study found that people over 60 who ate just 1 serving of spinach per day experienced an 11-point drop in systolic blood pressure in just 1 week. That's more effective than some prescription meds, with 0 side effects. The best part? Frozen spinach is blanched and chopped ahead of time, which means it's ready to go. You can throw it into soups, stews, omelets, pasta, anything. Number. Washing, chopping, or prepping. And because it's frozen at peak ripeness, it retains most of its nutrients, making it even more reliable than some fresh spinach that's been sitting in the produce aisle for days. So if you're looking for an easy, no-prep way to boost circulation and nourish your arteries, frozen spinach should be at the top of your list. 3. Frozen edamame shelled soybeans. This one flies under the radar, but it's a total game-changer. Frozen edamame, also known as shelled green soybeans. It's one of the most complete plant-based proteins you can eat. That means it contains all the essential amino acids your body needs to build and repair muscle and heart tissue. That's especially important after age 60, when muscle loss and vascular stiffness begin to accelerate. But there's more. Edamame is rich in isoflavones, plant compounds that act a bit like estrogen in the body. These have been shown to lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol, and reduce arterial stiffness, particularly in postmenopausal women, who often experience a drop in estrogen that affects vascular health, according to a 2021 meta-analysis in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension. Adults over 60 who consumed more isoflavones saw an average drop in systolic blood pressure of 5.9 mmHg. That's meaningful, especially over time. Edamame also delivers vitamin K2, which helps direct calcium out of your arteries and into your bones where it belongs. And it's rich in arginine, an amino acid that helps produce, you guessed it, nitric oxide. Just steam a handful for 5 minutes. Drizzle with olive oil and sea salt, and you've got a tasty, heart-healthy snack. Or toss them into salads, soups, or grain bowls. They're satisfying, packed with fiber, and totally cholesterol-free. #2. Frozen mixed berries, especially blueberries and blackberries. Next up, frozen mixed berries. But not just any berries. We're talking about low-sugar varieties like blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries. These are little heart heroes in disguise. They're rich in anthocyanins, which are the dark pigments that give berries their rich color and their power. These compounds reduce blood vessel inflammation, improve cholesterol levels, and enhance endothelial function, which controls how well your arteries expand and contract. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that daily berry intake in people over 60 reduced arterial stiffness by over 9% and dropped LDL cholesterol by 11%. Not only that, but berries help regulate blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, and support gut health, all of which directly impact heart and brain function in older adults. And yes, frozen berries are just as nutritious as fresh ones, sometimes more so. They're typically frozen within hours of being harvested, locking in the antioxidants and nutrients. As long as they don't have added sugar or syrups, they're a perfect daily addition to oatmeal, yogurt, smoothies, or even eaten by the handful. You'll satisfy your sweet tooth and support your arteries. #1. Frozen unbreaded chicken wings, oven-baked or air-fried. And finally, at #1, yes, you heard that right, frozen unbreaded chicken wings. When prepared correctly, they're one of the best high-protein, nutrient frozen foods you can eat as a senior. Here's why. Chicken wings, the unbreaded kind, contain complete amino acids, which help maintain and repair heart muscle, skeletal muscle, and blood vessel walls. And because wings include more skin, bone, and connective tissue than chicken breasts, they're naturally rich in collagen, specifically type 1 and type 3, which help maintain vascular flexibility. Why does that matter? Because stiff arteries are a leading cause of high blood pressure, stroke, and heart attacks in people over 60. Keeping your arteries elastic is one of the best ways to extend not just your lifespan, but your health span. Chicken wings also provide zinc, selenium, and vitamin B6, nutrients essential for immune function, nerve signaling, and healthy cholesterol metabolism. A 2022 study published in Nutrients found that seniors who ate higher amounts of poultry protein had a 41% lower risk of cardiovascular events over 5 years. That's a big deal, and it's not from supplements or fancy powders. It's from simple, nourishing food. The key is in the preparation. Avoid wings that are pre-breaded, pre-sauced, or packed with preservatives. Look for plain frozen wings. Then cook them in the oven or air fryer with anti-inflammatory spices like turmeric, rosemary, black pepper, or garlic. No oils needed. No breading required. You get crisp, protein-packed wings that support your metabolism, muscles, and heart without the sugar, seed oils, or junk. When you take charge of what's in the package, wings aren't junk food. They're functional food. Final thoughts. Your freezer can heal or harm. It's up to you. Now you know the truth. Your freezer can be your worst enemy or your greatest ally. Some frozen foods are speeding up aging, hardening arteries, and putting extra stress on your heart with every bite. But others like spinach, edamame, berries, and plain chicken wings are helping rebuild your cardiovascular health from the inside out. It all comes down to choices. Start by cleaning out the bad stuff: frozen breaded fish, sugary smoothie packs, breakfast sandwiches, and sodium-loaded pizza. Swap them for foods that heal, not harm. The impact on your energy, your focus, your sleep, and even your mood will surprise you. So tell us, which frozen food are you removing from your freezer today? Or what healthy substitution are you excited to try? Drop it in the comments below. We're reading every response and offering advice where we can. And if this video helped you rethink your relationship with frozen food, do me a favor, click like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss out on the latest senior health updates. Also, let us know what country you're watching from. We'd love to connect with viewers around the world. Remember, after 60, every meal matters. And your next one? It can either fuel your heart or drain it. The choice is yours.